Gilded rooms, endless halls of mirrors and portraits, royal bedchambers dripping in velvet, a palace so opulent it practically invented excess. I bet you think I'm talking about Versailles, don't you? Well, you'd be wrong. This, my dear viewer, is Fontainebleau, Versailles' older, wiser, and frankly more interesting ancestor. You see, while Versailles was still a glimmer in Louis XIV's glittering eye, Fontainebleau had already hosted kings, crowned queens, imprisoned popes, and been thoroughly soaked in centuries of French royal drama. It all began in the 12th century with Louis VII. At least that's the first king who issued orders out of the chateau. But it was Francois I, France's somewhat embarrassed king, who truly transformed it. He brought in Italian architects and artists, filled it with classical art, and basically turned it into the Louvre's country cousin. He loved his art so much that it said he used to have the only key into the king's gallery, and only distinguished guests were worthy of viewing his art. Henry IV, Louis XIII, Louis XV, they all left their marks. The Bourbon lot couldn't stay away. But let's not forget about the queens. Catherine de' Medici, queen, power broker, and a woman not to be trifled with, had her own special hand in the reinvention and expansion of Fontainebleau. But it's also said she wandered these very halls clutching horoscopes and death charts, and many believe she practiced dark arts in her private apartments. She was one spicy woman. And Marie Antoinette, yes, she was here too. She had rooms redecorated in her refined Austrian style, delicate, elegant, and painfully out of touch with the crumbling monarchy around her. Just a few years later, her head would roll, but the silk walls she chose can still be found, although a tiny little man would do his best in later years to make his own mark. Speaking of the emperor, Napoleon adored Fontainebleau. He called it the true home of kings, something Francois I would have loved hearing. Here he staged imperial ceremonies, wooed allies, and redecorated everything with that classic Napoleonic ego. But it's also where it all fell apart. In 1814, after a string of catastrophic defeats, he signed his abdication right here, at a simple table in his personal apartment. That very table, it's still here, a quiet relic of his grand unraveling. He made a tearful farewell to his troops in the courtyard, kissed the imperial eagle, and departed with flair as only he could. And what is a palace without a good ghost story? Tales of a red man ghost has haunted the court for centuries, allegedly a blood-soaked specter said to appear before death or disaster. Napoleon himself claims to have seen him, and let's be honest, things didn't exactly go well for him after that. So yes, Versailles may have mirrors, but Fontainebleau has memory, 9 centuries of ambition, betrayal, beauty, blood, and the occasional brush with the occult. So next time someone bangs on about Versailles, just smile sweetly and say, ah yes, Versailles is lovely, but have you met her grandmother?